Breaking news! Broncos country, something is quietly brewing in Dove Valley, something that could have a big impact on our roster come September. While all eyes are on the quarterback battle or the wide receiver roster, the Denver Broncos just made a move that may seem insignificant at first glance, but could end up reshaping the very identity of our defense. I know what you're thinking. How big of a deal can a quiet signing be? Well, I've been looking into this, and trust me, it's not just a coaching staff. This could be the start of another one of those legendary Denver underdog stories that fans have been talking about for years. But before I give you all the details on why this unexpected addition could be the smartest move Sean Payton has made this offseason, make sure you've clicked the like button, but only if you consider yourself a true fan of this team. I want to see comments that say, "Go Broncos! We believe in our defense." Okay, let's get straight to the heart of this story. Alright, let's get right into it. The Denver Broncos have made a very intriguing signing, and it's got all the markings of a potential underdog success story. Once again, the front office is betting on a player who might not be a household name yet, but who has all the makings of a breakout contributor. This mirrors the move they made last year with Dondre Tillman, an undrafted player who made the most of his opportunities, recording 5 sacks despite limited snaps. That's the kind of production that turns heads, and it shows this coaching staff knows how to dig deep and find hidden gems. This year, it's Mario Goodrich who's getting a shot. A former Clemson standout, Goodrich brings an impressive college pedigree. He was the team captain during his senior season, helped lead Clemson to 3 college football playoff appearances, and won a national championship. He was even named MVP of the Cheez-It Bowl, where he had a forced fumble on a critical 3rd down and a pick 6. Talk about clutch. Goodrich also earned All-ACC honors and was named to the AP 3rd team, which tells you everything about the level of competition he thrived in. Now, his NFL journey has been rockier. Injuries have plagued his professional career, with short stints on the rosters of the Eagles and Giants before injury setbacks halted his momentum. But here's the twist. When he's healthy, his talent speaks loudly. He logged 70 defensive snaps and 40 special teams snaps with Philadelphia, a team known for its relentless defense. Scouts and analysts were once concerned about his 40-yard dash time, questioning whether he had the speed to play at the next level. But on tape, he's a tackling machine. 0 missed tackles in college. That's right, 0. And in press coverage, he shines with a strong, physical presence and run-stuffing ability that could make him a real asset in Denver's secondary. It's clear Sean Payton has a type, high-character guys who are battle-tested in team first. Goodrich fits the mold. It's no coincidence that multiple NFL teams have taken a chance on him. It's about health now. And if there's any team where he can finally stay on the field and flourish, it might just be this one. Payton and strength coach Bo Lowry have emphasized health and recovery in a way that gives these players a real shot. Now, let's zoom out a bit. The Broncos' cornerback room is arguably the most competitive in the league right now. You've got elite talent like Pat Surtain, a lockdown corner considered among the very best in the world. Riley Moss, who when healthy, is dynamic and dangerous. Jaquan McMillian had a down year last season, but don't forget how strong he looked 2 years ago. Then there's the first-round rookie, Jay Barrow, and Chris Abrams-Drain, who picked off Justin Herbert last year. It's a crowded room, which means Goodrich has a steep hill to climb. But if he's going to stick around, it'll likely be through special teams contributions, and that's often how these stories start. If he performs well there, it could force the Broncos to make tough decisions, maybe even moving someone like McMillian for draft capital. What's most exciting is that this move continues a pattern. Denver's building its strength from the back end, doubling down on defense. And why not? We already know the Broncos had one of the most formidable defensive units in the NFL last season, and Payton clearly wants to push that edge even further. With the likes of Surtain leading the charge, this team is building something that offenses around the league will not want to face come fall. And while we're on the topic of building momentum, let's talk about training camp. Mark your calendars, rookies report July 16th, and veterans arrive July 22nd. That's right around the corner. This year brings something a little different, joint practices. Not just 1, but 2. First, the Broncos will travel to Santa Clara to face off with the San Francisco 49ers, a franchise they've got a lot of respect for. It's not just a scrimmage, it's iron sharpening iron. You've got Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Christian McCaffrey, and a brutal Niners defense that'll push Denver to its limits. Then, the Broncos will square off with the Arizona Cardinals in another joint session. This will give the defense reps against 2 very different quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, who extends plays outside the pocket, and Brock Purdy, a more traditional passer. It's perfect prep for the diverse QB styles Denver will face in the regular season. And Sean Payton loves these sessions more than any preseason game. He knows real evaluation happens in those controlled but intense environments. Let's not overlook the perks of having the richest owner in sports either. The Walton Penner ownership group is making it possible to house the team in Santa Clara and host Arizona in Denver. These aren't cheap endeavors, but for them, it's worth the investment to build a brotherhood and maximize development. That college campus vibe from last year, paintball, horseback riding, staying in dorms, it's all about chemistry. Payton is recreating that magic again, and it could be the secret ingredient this team needs. One more thing before I wrap this part up. How about that top 100 NFL players list? Only 3 Broncos made it: Pat Certain, Quinn Meinerz, and Garrett Bowles. Certain's ranking? Well-deserved. Meinerz climbing into the top 50? Huge statement. But let's be honest, how does Nick Bonito not make this list? The guy had more sacks than a lot of players who did, including Trey Hendrickson. And what about Zach Allen? Total snub. Denver's defense deserves more respect. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Mario Goodrich has a real shot at making the final roster? Could he be the next breakout story like Dondre Tillman? Or is the cornerback room just too stacked this year? Because when we start digging deeper into what this signing truly means for the Denver Broncos, the implications go far beyond just adding another body to the roster. This is a strategic move by Sean Payton, one that tells us he's not just focused on depth, but on identity. Think about it. In a secondary already stacked with high-end talent, bringing in Mario Goodrich isn't about patching a hole. It's about reinforcing a culture, one rooted in physicality, toughness, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. And there's something else at play here. The Broncos are setting themselves up to dominate on special teams. That third phase of football often gets overlooked, but not in Denver. Payton understands that championships are built not only on offense and defense, but on special teams that win field position battles, create turnovers, and deliver momentum-shifting plays. Mario Goodrich, with his college track record of 0 missed tackles and his knack for being around the ball in high-leverage situations, fits that mold perfectly. He's the kind of player who could become a fan favorite on kickoff coverage, the guy who sets the tone early in games. Let's also not forget the broader context. Denver is preparing for a gauntlet of a schedule. They'll face mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes, physical runners like Christian McCaffrey, and precision passers like Brock Purdy. The secondary has to be deep, versatile, and healthy. With joint practices lined up against 2 stylistically different teams, Goodrich will have the chance to show that he belongs, not just in practice reps, but in one-on-ones, situational drills, and live-action simulations. These joint practices aren't just warm-ups, they're auditions. And for a guy like Goodrich, they're golden opportunities. The timing of all this matters, too. Training camp this year will be different. The traditional hill that fans used to line up on is closed due to construction, and spots in the bleachers will be limited. That means fewer eyes on practice, but it also means the Broncos coaching staff will have even more control over the environment. They can focus, evaluate, and install without distraction. If Goodrich is going to impress, it'll happen in front of the decision makers who matter most. And if he does, well, that could lead to some tough choices in the cornerback room. Do the Broncos stick with a veteran who may have plateaued, or take a chance on a younger player who's still rising? Could Jaquan McMillian, once considered a building block, become a trade chip to make room for someone like Goodrich? These are real possibilities. Because make no mistake, Sean Payton isn't afraid to shake things up. If you're not producing, you're not staying. It's that simple. We also need to talk about the psychological edge this gives Denver. Every time a team brings in someone who's been overlooked or counted out, it sends a message to the locker room. This is a meritocracy. You earn your spot. That kind of environment keeps veterans on their toes and